to Tranquility. We're going to try to reduce tension and discover tranquility while you work. My name is Barbara Morgan. I'm with Health Fitness, and I'm one of the ergonomic consultants here at HP. So we'll spend about a half an hour together. Hopefully we'll have some time at the end if you have any questions. Definitely welcome them. The recording will be posted at the end of the presentation, and I will also post the slide deck for you. So today we plan to address some of the common stressors that are faced in the workplace as they're related to ergonomics. So we're going to look at how working at desks for long hours and dealing with tight deadlines and digital fatigue in and out of work affects our overall well-being. And we're going to conclude with exploring some practical strategies that can help reduce tension and promote tranquility while you're working. So understanding a little bit about desk tension, this kind of dives into the physical and emotional impacts of desk tension. It's common to hear desk and clerical workers mentioning discomfort in their neck and their back related to poor posture, or also text neck, which happens from looking down at our smartphones, tablets for long periods of time. So, and prolonged sitting really increases the pressure in your vertebrae and it restricts blood flow. So that also will contribute to sore muscles and fatigue. You know, has anyone ever experienced a Zoom slump or maybe Teams slump? You know, we get mental fatigue from sitting in virtual meetings, and when those meetings are back to back, they can really leave participants feeling drained and mentally foggy. Mental overload at work is also a significant contributor to workplace stress. And, you know, lots of people will tell you they have stress at work every day. They have stress that they bring with them in from outside. So one of the areas that really lends itself to this is that the average employee receives 121 emails per day. And as a rule of thumb, we check our inbox about every 6 minutes. So what that does during the day is it leads to constant interruptions, and it also adds to your digital fatigue. So 64% of employees say that email contributes to their stress and overwhelm. This especially happens on Monday mornings or your first day back at work. And also we have a tendency to pay when we go on vacation or take time for ourselves because these emails will just pile up. And this is an interesting statistic, but only about 2.5% of people can multitask effectively. So trying to do multiple things at one time really does lessen your productivity. The inbox avalanche, we call it, is a term that's used to describe the overwhelming, often unmanageable influx of emails and other digital messages that can lead to an overwhelmed feeling and also a decrease in our productivity. Excessive screen time is another major factor that contributes to these desk-related tensions. When we're looking at screens, we tend to blink less, which can lead to dry eyes. Office workers spend more than 1,700 hours per year in front of computer screens, and that's associated with eye strain, headaches, and even poor sleep quality. So this number doesn't even include the time we spend looking at our phones or our home TV screens. So the desk trap, sometimes individuals can become so engrossed in their work that they remain seated for hours without moving. This leads to physical discomfort and, again, more reduced productivity. And oftentimes when we do get up, we're stiff and we're sore from having that lack of movement. So some strategies for reducing tension. So physical strategies are essential for alleviating desk-related tension. Micro movements such as neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, or wrist stretches that can be performed throughout the day. They can increase the blood flow and also decrease the stiffness. And to do a little advertising, for those of you who join me on Wednesdays from 2:30 to 2:40 for ErgoFit, know how we concentrate on those parts of the body that are most prone to fatigue and discomfort from desk jobs. So I encourage you to sign up and join us there. But, you know, that's only 10 minutes a week. So try to build in other times. Neck rolls are very simple. You want to just look down, look over your right shoulder, look up at the sky, left shoulder, and back down again. And you can do that both clockwise and counterclockwise. Shoulder shrugs are just lifting your shoulders up as close to your ears as you can and letting go, and being sure that those shoulders stay in a relaxed posture. And then wrist stretches, you can just spread your hands out and get as much space between each finger as you can and wiggle them a little bit and make a fist. And these are things that you can be doing all day long to keep from getting, past that point. The other option that we have is just adjusting your workstation to be more ergonomic, and that's going to support proper posture and also reduce strain on your body. So I've got some links at the end. If you'd like some one-on-one attention and somebody to look at your desk and your chair and your monitor and your keyboard and your mouse, more than happy to do that. And I'll give you information about how to set that up at the end. The other thing that they found is extremely helpful is a 4-7-8 breathing technique. And it's a relaxation method that involves a specific pattern of breathing. And it's named after the ratio of the inhale, hold, and exhale phases. So I'm going to describe what it is, and then I would like everyone to just take a minute and do at least one of these with me. So you are going to inhale through your nose for a count of 4 seconds. Then you're going to hold your breath for 7 seconds. And then you are going to exhale for 8 seconds. Now I have to tell you, the inhaling is very easy. The holding is pretty easy. But you need to exhale slowly to be able to work up to that 8 count. So I will do the counting for you, and I'm going to ask you to start with the inhale. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slowly exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's interesting to see whether you made it to 8, because most people don't at the beginning. We're not used to the idea of really trying to control how much breath is coming out through our mouth. And please be careful. If you're not used to this kind of breathing, sometimes it will make you a little lightheaded, and we don't want that. So always make sure you're seated when you do this. But I encourage you to practice and see if you can get better at this. But just doing this a couple times a day can really kind of reframe things. All these strategies are easy to implement, and they can significantly improve your physical comfort and your focus during your workday. Now, some mental strategies. They're equally important as the physical strategies in discussing, fostering that tranquility at your desk. So taking time to intentionally silence non-essential notifications helps to minimize distractions. So basically what we're saying is if you're working on a specific project and you can kind of turn off that outside clutter, maybe you just want your boss to be able to reach you via Teams, or you want to silence your notifications so that you're not noticing that you're getting all these emails, so that you really can focus and minimize those distractions. Another option is to incorporate calming elements into our environment. It could be music, it could be smells, or it could be lighting that allow you to create a more peaceful workspace. And The other thing is guided mindfulness breaks. Um, 1 minute breaks. You guys, HP has access to Headspace, which is a calming app that's available on your phone and on your computer. So highly encourage you to take advantage of those. And when you're feeling kind of stressed through the day, reach back and figure out something that could cause you to have just a little bit more calm, a little bit less distraction. So these techniques are designed to enhance your mental clarity, reduce stress, and promote a more serene work environment. So creating a tranquil desk environment. Our environment plays a key in how we feel. Next, we're going to look at some environmental enhancements that you can use to reduce tension and gain tranquility. A tranquil desk environment can greatly influence our mood and our productivity. Some suggestions include adding live plants or calming images to your workspace. You can put pictures on your wall of nature scenes or on your computer desktop. You can have pictures of pets or animals that'll make you smile when you look at them. And I highly encourage you to put these off somewhere else in your space. We can stop looking at the screen all the time. We have a 20-20-20 rule in ergonomics. We say that every 20 minutes, you should take 20 seconds and focus on something that's 20 feet away, whether that's looking out your window or maybe it's looking across your office at a quote that you like or a family photo, a vacation photo, just something to get you from stopping to look at something so close to you like your monitor. And it also should be something that, makes you smile. The other issue that's a big distractor and can cause a lot of tension is being able to regularly declutter your desk. Some people would like to do that once a week. Some people do that every quarter. Some people like to do it at the very end of their week. They allow 15-20 minutes to just declutter. Other people like to do it at the beginning of the week so that you're kind of clearing out your space. You can create a little box under your desk to put things in that are still important, but I have to tell you that ability to look out on a space and have it be very orderly will assist. Sometimes we have old Post-it notes lying around for months and months and months, and papers, and they really create a lot of visual noise and chaos. And you also want to be really careful about cords and plugs. You want to make sure that they're moved and secured out of the way so that there's no issue with tripping, and also they're just not distracting. So again, personalizing the area with photos or inspirational quotes. Quotes can bring, some light and some levity to your space. Pictures of your family or goals can help you remember why. Why do we do this? What's our end goal? We get gratification out of our work, but it also allows us to, go on vacation and purchase things that give us joy. So keep in mind the why to all of this. The other issue that we can take a look at is soft lighting or natural lighting to create a soothing atmosphere. You want to be really careful about working in the dark with just a night or a desk lamp and the lights off. But if you work in an office where you do have control over your overhead lights and you do get some natural light from a window, you might want to experiment with that and see if you can create a more pleasing light around you. Not always so available for those of us that work in cubes. So, you want to take breaks from harsh lighting if you can't change it. You want to get natural sunlight into the eyes, or even take a quick vision break where you just close your eyes and relax for a minute. Maybe you picture your vacation or you picture your animals or your kids, but it's just another way to, just increase that calm. So if you have any ideas that you'd like to post out in the chat, please do. I encourage you to share if you've come up with anything that helps you reduce your desk tension. So here are some resources for you. So we've wrapped some of the key points and tips from our webinar today into a handy checklist for you to use. Here is a link to Tension to Tranquility Checklist 2025. And I encourage you to print that out. I actually have it here. I apologize, it's pretty small, but again, you can print it out. But I wanted to walk down through this with everybody just so you understand the different categories and what you can do in each category. So for a physical reset, you want to do neck rolls or shoulder shrugs every hour. You want to stretch your wrists and fingers regularly. You want to adjust your chair and monitor for ergonomic posture. And again, I would be happy to assist with that if you need any help. Practice your 4-7-8 breathing at least once a day. And you might find that you really like it, and it does really allow you to kind of just slow down a little bit. So absolutely feel free to do it more than once a day. I do this often, and I found it really does allow me to reset. Sometimes I'll do it when I'm moving from one task to another so that I'm kind of just clearing out what I just finished and I can start fresh and new and relaxed on something else that's on my desk. As far as mental clarity goes, taking that 1-minute mindfulness break is also a great option. It's only 1 minute. Silence any non-essential notifications. So turn off that email for a while, turn off your Teams for a while so that people aren't interrupting you if you really need some heads down focus time. Using calming music or ambient sounds. Again, a little more difficult when you're in a cube setting, but you can always pipe things through your headset. It could be rain, it could be waves crashing in the ocean, it could be classical music or smooth jazz, it could be just a number of things that allow you to embrace that slowing down and having more mental clarity. Your desk environment. Add a plant or a calming visual. They make those beautiful, they're made out of blocks of wood and they have little sayings on them. It's a beautiful way to, put something on your desk that, again, the idea is when you look at, you want to smile. You want to have it just kind of take you away from what you're doing for a second. Decluttering your workspace weekly. Some people, I said, do that daily, weekly, quarterly, but sitting down and having kind of a blank canvas when you start your workday really can assist. Personalize with a photo or a quote. You can hang it off the bottom of your monitor. You can put it across the wall like we had discussed. And then also using soft lighting or natural lighting when possible. For those that do have windows, utilize that as much as you can. Just always be careful that you don't have any glare on your monitor. That will make things worse. And choose one calming ritual to start your day. You can put a little thought into that. There's all kinds of ideas out on the internet, but just one thing to kind of ground you and set the stage for what that day is going to hold for you. And then lastly, reflect on one moment of peace or success before you log off at the end of the day. So look back and say, well, maybe I didn't get everything done, but I've been working on this for a while and I made great strides today. So as you finish up your work day and move in to your after work life, take that second to just kind of close the door on the work and acknowledge that something that day went well, and that you really are going to kind of close the door like we would close the door to our office, and we're going to walk away from that. And we want to walk into our afternoons or evenings, whether we're with, parents, children, grandparents, pets, whatever we go on to next. We really want to try to leave that work that work life behind. So give yourself a chance to say, I'm finished for the day. I've successfully completed this or that, or I want to think about, I'm headed out to have dinner. It's going to be a nice evening. So just kind of give yourself a chance to stop your work life and head back into your home life. So here's a slide for some resources. Um, there's a risk assessment tool, and this is a link to it that'll help you evaluate your office ergonomics if you've never taken that. For more ergonomic information, there's a phenomenal HP ergonomic SharePoint link that's here for you. We talked about ErgoFit back at the beginning, but this is a link to register for the ErgoFit classes only. They're held Wednesday from 2:30 to 2:40 Central Time. And then you can also register for CubeFit classes. The CubeFit classes are offered by the Health Fitness group at the fitness centers. And this is a library of online classes that you can take from home or from your desk if you're in the office. And the whole library is there of all the classes from the past. And then all that library is accessible through this YouTube library link. And if you're just interested in ErgoFit, you can just hit that specific area of the library. And again, ErgoFit is just a 10-minute stretch and reset movement break. We average somewhere between 25 and 35 people a week. Again, it's focused primarily on just the parts of the body that we use as part of an office worker. So that would be, low, mid, high back, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, neck. So it's a nice overall. And lastly, I would love if you would just take a moment to fill out a little 3-question poll that we have. 1 second, let me launch that for you. And if you have any specific information, I would caution you not to put it into the chat for this, to reach out to me either through Teams or email at barbara.morgan@hp.com. And I'd be happy to work with you individually on that. But if you have a general question, feel free to throw it into the chat. And let me launch the poll. And while I'm doing that, let me know if anyone has any questions. You could come off mute. We have about 6 minutes left. And can somebody give me a thumbs up that you can see the poll? Perfect. Thank you so much. So any questions from anyone? Well, again, feel free to throw any questions that are of a general nature in the chat, and I will be happy to get back to you. As we discussed, the recording will be posted, as will the slide deck when we finish the presentation today. And the third question of the poll is asking, do you have any ideas of future webinars? We do these once a quarter that you would benefit from. This is our third one for 2025. So there'll be another webinar in December. So if you registered for this webinar, you will automatically be invited to it. I think it's probably going to be about the first week of December. So happy to have you join. Also know if you are an ErgoFit client and you want to pass on that meeting invite to anybody in your group, please feel free to do so. And I would just like to thank everybody for their attention today, and I hope you found today's webinar beneficial. Thanks, everybody, unless anybody else has a question.
Thanks, Barbara.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.